What if the world's #1 military power is actually running out of ammunition? Not a rumor, not enemy propaganda. This comes straight from the mouths of Pentagon officials themselves. For the past 7 weeks, the United States has been engaged in its most intense military operation against Iran in the last 2 decades. And behind the scenes, something alarming is happening. Their stockpile of interceptor missiles is running low. According to reports by The Telegraph and internal sources cited by The Washington Post, the Pentagon is said to have concealed the true scale of the interceptor missile shortage from the White House itself. President Trump was reportedly not given the full picture of his country's military readiness. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Iran is becoming increasingly aggressive. After the death of Iran's supreme leader in a joint US-Israel strike, Tehran did not back down. Instead, it retaliated with far greater intensity than during the previous year's conflict. The question now is, if the US, the world's strongest military, starts running low on air defense ammunition, what does that mean for its allies? And where do other countries stand on the global military chessboard? Let's break down the data. Data from CSIS, the most trusted defense think tank in Washington, reveals some startling figures. Throughout this conflict, the United States is reported to have used up as much as 20% of its total stockpile of Standard Missile-3 missiles. For THAAD missiles, the Long-Range Ballistic Missile Interceptor System, the figures are even more severe, between 20 and 50% of the total inventory. Even more concerning is that the rate of replenishment is far behind the rate of consumption. According to defense analyst Mark Canchin, the Pentagon is currently receiving only about 15 new Tomahawk missiles and 20 new Patriot missiles each month. As for the THAAD system, there is not even a delivery schedule for all of 2026. The issue is not just about Iran. The same Patriot air defense system has also been used to support Ukraine in its war against Russia. This means the same stockpile is now being pulled in 3 directions at once: the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and the domestic strategic reserve. One major question has begun to emerge among defense analysts in Washington. What happens if tensions escalate in a 4th region, the Indo-Pacific? To answer that, we need to look at the bigger picture. Who are actually the countries with the strongest militaries in the world today? According to the Global Firepower Index 2026, an index that evaluates 145 countries based on more than 60 indicators of military strength, the top positions are still dominated by the familiar names. The United States remains in first place, followed by Russia in second and China in third. But this index does not measure quality, it only measures quantity and logistical capacity. A destroyer built in the 1990s is counted the same as a modern aircraft carrier. This means the rankings do not necessarily reflect who would actually have the upper hand in real combat. Israel, for example, is not in the top 5 in terms of quantity. But when it comes to air defense technology and intelligence systems, many analysts rank it among the most advanced in the world, as demonstrated by its key role in joint operations against Iran. Indonesia itself ranks 13th in the world, the highest in Southeast Asia, even above Israel and Iran in terms of conventional military scale and personnel numbers. So what about Iran? According to the Global Firepower Index, Iran is not one of the world's top 5 military powers. But that's not where Iran's strength lies. Iran possesses one of the largest ballistic missile and long-range drone programs in the Middle East, allowing it to overwhelm enemy air defense systems through sheer numbers rather than technology alone. Their coordinated retaliatory strikes following the death of their supreme leader demonstrated this. The intensity of the attacks far exceeded that of the previous year's conflict. This is what makes the situation so dangerous. The world's largest military power is facing an opponent that does not rely on advanced technology, but instead relies on the sheer volume of attacks that can deplete interceptor stockpiles faster than they can be replenished. The Pentagon spokesperson officially denied that the U.S. military lacks the weapons needed to carry out its strategic missions. President Trump himself publicly made the same assertion. But behind the scenes, a growing number of internal officials speaking anonymously to major media outlets such as The Washington Post and Al Jazeera have admitted they are concerned that the White House does not have the full picture of the actual risks. And time is on no one's side. The longer the conflict continues, the more deeply U.S. interceptor stockpiles are depleted, while the country's defense industrial capacity will take years to catch up. So, who is actually the most prepared for a long-term war in 2026? Not the country with the most tanks, not the country with the most advanced missiles, but the country that has a combination of three things: sustainable ammunition production capacity, allies that can share the logistical burden, and the ability to withstand pressure from multiple fronts at the same time. This Pentagon missile crisis isn't just news about one country running out of weapons. It's a signal of how the global military balance could shift faster than we expected, not because of defeat on the battlefield, but because of failure in the supply chain. If you think this analysis has been eye-opening, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and most importantly, subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming geopolitical and military analyses. See you in the next video.
What's